indicators to show you, let you look at some of the signals. Things are still bearish here. No bottoming signal here yet. We don't always get one. Didn't get one back over here. But can we get a bigger rally towards our 200? That's a black line right there. Or is that all she wrote? Forming a leading diagonal. Signal still bearish here. Now, so far we're only turning off the orange line right here. Again, if you can get a bigger rally right now, the purple line is resistance. That takes us closer to that 200 period moving average. If you get the push down again, then maybe you get the leading diagonal scenario, or you just had a feeble rally and you're now beginning this crash wave 3, the third of the third, intermediate wave 3, a primary wave 3, if we start just seeing the bottom begin to fall out of Bitcoin. Again, I wanted to make the video is to show you the different Elliott wave scenarios. Got some bottoming signals here. Is it a short-term bottom, or do we get something bigger right now towards the 250 as they get a death cross? Beautiful sell signal at the top. Beautiful bottoming signal at the bottom. We'll see what becomes of this. Bar still red here. Still hanging in there with blue bars here with momentum, with bullish bars at the moment. Got this bottoming signal. It wasn't a major bottoming signal, but again, we've stalled at the 50% retracement from the 116,000 peak down to our low here, just under 100,000. Again, can the momentum continue, or do we resume the decline? We'll be watching to see how it plays out. Again, any bottoming signal that I'm getting, likely marking a counter trend, a gift to the bears, an opportunity for the bulls. So we'll see if price tries to recover, or do we try now to go take out our recent minor lows? Just reviewing some of the indicators and the Elliott wave count with you. Please support the channel with the link directly below. That allows me to be able to provide you this information. If you like the charts, if you like my indicators, let me know that by supporting the channel today. If you could take a moment and partner with me, I would really, really appreciate it. I don't have any sponsors. I turned those offers down. I don't want to send you to some exchange that wants to get you all leveraged up to wipe you out. Some exchange that's going belly up. You're smart enough to figure that out for yourself, what exchange you want to use. So I just ask that you just partner with me and do what you can to help out. Most YouTube channels make their money through sponsors selling you stuff. I choose not to do that. So if you could just take a moment and follow the link below, do what you can to help out. Anything helps. I would really appreciate it. I thank you for your consideration for that. Sorry if I don't sound very good right now. Again, I'm recovering from surgery, but I'm here for you, and I want to make sure you have this information. Watch the video all the way through to make sure you see the Elliott wave counts. Okay, it is Tuesday. Just a quick Bitcoin update. I just wanted to review something with you with the Elliott wave count. I'm going to be short. I'm recovering from emergency surgery. I recently got out of the hospital, so I'm in a lot of pain and not feeling too great. I'm going to be short and sweet and just give you a couple of thoughts on my Elliott wave count. Again, primary count is that we're already in primary wave 3. We're getting this counter trend that's going to be somewhere below 116,000, the peak over here, which I've marked this as primary wave 1. This is the daily chart. Right now we're down 2.83%, it looks like. But again, if we have a primary wave 1 here, primary wave 2 at 116,000, then again, I think you've got your first couple of intermediate waves going on here. Intermediate wave 1, I've marked this as intermediate wave 1. Maybe intermediate wave 2 is done. The more shallow recovery and smaller Fibonacci retracement But again, we could still make our way to recover much of this decline and move towards the 250 as they get a death cross. Possibilities we drop as they get a death cross and then rebound back up to them. And that's the alternative count. Again, I keep talking about it. I want to show it to you. Again, I talked about it in the last few videos, a possible leading diagonal, and I'll show it to you. But here, I've marked this as a 1, 2 for primary 1 and 2, and a 1 and a 2, and maybe not done yet. We come up here into the golden pocket, or again, getting closer to the 116,000 area with a intermediate wave 1, intermediate wave 2 of primary wave 3, which will be an extended wave down. You're getting these intermediate waves that are setting up for intermediate wave 3 of primary wave 3, which will be the crash wave. So right now we're selling off. We'll see if we attempt a bigger recovery or not. You still may attempt it. Got a possible bear flag carving out here as well if can't get a bigger recovery. Let me just bring this up in the 4-hour time frame so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. And again, the 5-leg push lower here for primary wave 1, ABC back up for primary wave 2. Talked about a 5-leg push lower for with an extended fifth or a truncated fifth over here. And then again, possibly a rebound and that completing intermediate wave 1 right there. Possibly intermediate wave 2 at higher levels or terminating here at the 50% retracement. Still the possibility of getting closer to that 250 period as they get a death cross, but the death cross is coming, will eventually lead to lower prices for Bitcoin. So this is what I think is likely the case. I think you've got primary wave 1 done, primary wave 2. I think you're getting this the intermediate wave 1 and 2 here carving out, getting ready for intermediate wave 3 of primary wave 3, which if I just zoom out here, you can see what I'm looking at. Again, eventually coming back down and testing 74,000. Oh, that's impossible. That's just FUD. When Bitcoin tops and begins a bear market, it usually crashes about 40 or 50% to kick off the bear market. Bitcoin has likely topped at major resistance. A 4-year cycle has likely come to a conclusion, as I've talked about at great length and detail. I think by January, we're going to see a significant sell-off down 40%. This 74,000, that would be 41% lower. We're down 50%, that'd be 63,000. Again, what we did in the last bear market, we dropped 52% over 2.5 months. Then you're looking at 60,000. Getting a 50% haircut. And again, nobody thinks that's possible. You still have these people talking about 200,000 and 250,000 by the end of the year. And again, they're oblivious to what's going on. Bitcoin is in a downtrend. The people predicting 200,000 and like, well, it may not be 200 and 250,000. Now it's 150 and 200,000. And that's what they'll do next is what they did the last time around. Then they'll go, well, not the end of 2025, but it's going to go into 2026 now. And again, this is what these people did the last time at the 2021 top. Well, they were predicting 200,000 for Bitcoin. Bitcoin crashed to 15,000. It crashed 78%. Well, again, I expect this death cross here in the daily time frame in the coming days ahead. Do we get another push lower and then rebound back up? Or do we try to rebound back up as we get the death cross? This scenario would say that we have primary wave 1 done, primary wave 2. We're in primary wave 3, crash wave 3, and we're either completing intermediate wave 2 or about to complete it at higher levels. We get this primary wave 3, crash wave 3, and then 4 and 5. And eventually, if we do drop 50%, again, going into January, I'm looking at, 60 or 63,000. We might find support around 74,000 in a 5-leg push lower. This is an extended wave 3 scenario that takes us down to 74,000 with wave 3, a bounce, and then to take it out. This is what I think is going on. We broke the trend line from the April low. We back tested it with the bear flag. We broke down. Now you got a bounce off of Bitcoin's average price here. That's what I used along with horizontal support to call the Bitcoin bottom back at the April low, the day of the April low. I had signals warning of a bottom. That was correct. Got very bullish. Told you we were going to go make new highs. But then up at this high right here, I got warning signs of a potential top. I told you I thought Bitcoin had topped and peaked with the 4-year cycle. I think Bitcoin's in the process of kicking off the bear market with either 40 to 50% drop. 41% takes us down to 74,000. 50% drop is 63,000. And if we drop like we did the last bear market, 52%, you're looking at going to 60,000, going beyond this neckline. And then I think you get a massive rally. I think the Fed will panic come January. I think they'll do emergency rate cuts. I think that we'll see the market drop, the traditional markets peak and drop sharply. And I think Bitcoin will drop sharply. And we'll start seeing some real evidence of the recession. And again, the government's going to reopen now here. Once the House passes this bill, it passed in the Senate, and we're going to be getting these jobs reports. We're going to be getting the inflation data and so forth. All these reports that we've missed. And eventually, I think you're going to see a further deterioration in the labor market. You'll eventually see negative numbers. And I think markets will be concerned about that. We've already seen deterioration in the labor market, and I think you're going to see more of it. And if we start getting negative jobs reports, which I think is coming, maybe some of these reports that we've missed, the market could have a very negative reaction to that. But I think you're going to eventually see the Fed cut down here in January, and I think you'll get a massive Bitcoin rally back up towards 100,000 or maybe above 100,000 if this head and shoulders pattern plays out. I think you'll be rallying back up towards the 200 period moving average, which is a black line you see right here. It'll begin to flatten out and begin to turn down. You'll drop and you'll begin to rally back up to it. The 50 will cross it in a death cross. This is what I think is happening. You're forming this massive head and shoulders. Now, there's another possibility of the wave count. Rather than a 1-2, primary wave 1-2 being done, getting these first smaller subwaves of primary wave 3 and intermediate wave 1 and 2, I've talked about the possibility of a leading diagonal, and that's still possible if we have a 5-leg push lower with 1, 2, 3, this is 4, and we get one more push down into this trend line and just undercut the previous low, forming a divergence on some indicators. Then you've got the possibility of an ABC, a bigger ABC back up. I've just drawn the Fibonacci retracement from this low right here. 61.8 fib would take us back up to test the 116,000 area, just under it. If we go to the 78.6 Fibonacci, we'd be over it. We'd be up here at the 19,500 area or so. Pardon me, 750 area. But if we get one more push down, if we drop below the Bitcoin's average price, drop back below the 50-week moving average, but then still recover, and you get something like this, and then you get this recovery, or if I move it over a little bit, we drop, and then we get this instant recovery, then the leading diagonal is still a possibility that this whole thing, rather than a primary wave 1 and a primary wave 2 being done, we're now in primary wave 3 and we're getting these smaller subwaves, that this whole thing is primary wave 1. And you get this leading diagonal where you have this overlap in sections of threes. That's what a leading diagonal is, in the form of this bullish falling wedge. And then you get this counter trend for wave 2 up here somewhere in the golden pocket. So again, I don't want to rule that out. That's here's the golden pocket right here in this area right here. I don't want to rule that out. That is the alternative count that I have, and I wanted to make you aware of that. I've talked about it several times. Wanted to show it to you here on the chart. If we get another push down, either we're now collapsing, getting the crash wave 3, if we continue and drop below the 50-week moving average, stay below it, as I've talked about in every single video. But if we come down and we drop down to a new low, down to this trend line right here, but then recover back up and break the downward trend line, and here I've excluded the shadows over here, then this leading diagonal scenario might have some real possibilities as we get the death cross rallying back up into the moving averages or beyond them. Currently, the 50% retracement is just above that 50, just above the 200, just below the 50 period. But I think a death cross is coming. So again, this would be the alternative scenario, that we don't get the big rally right now, that we get it later if we end up dropping down to take out our recent lows. And Elliott wave of speculation, these are two bearish counts that say, hey, we've already topped. This count says we're getting a leading diagonal and we'll get a bigger recovery once a leading diagonal is done, get a Fibonacci retracement. The other count says, hey, primary wave 1 or 2 are done and we are in crash wave 3, primary wave 3. So we'll be watching to see how it unfolds. I've marked it going up to the 61.8 fib. It may only go up to the 50% retracement, or it may get a bigger recovery to the 78.6 Fibonacci. And then lastly, the bullish scenario would be that we have a corrective move. And eventually we see the weekly signals turn back to bullish. They go make new highs. I don't think that's likely. I think the chances of that happening are slim to none. We're about to start recession in December or January. I think the recession is upon us. Already seeing evidence of a banking crisis. You know, the Fed's injecting money into the banks, the largest injection that we've seen in 5 years. The Moon Boys telling us how, oh, it's QE, it's starting all over. They're injecting money into the banks because they're trying to prevent a banking crisis from happening. They're not going to be successful. We're going to have a banking crisis. Commercial real estate exposure to the regional banks are going to end up creating a banking crisis. Already seeing the beginning stages of stress in the credit markets. I've talked about that on my Ron Walker channel. On my recent Sunday video about the stress in the credit markets. Just wanted to touch on this real fast. Selling off right now off of this trend line, excluding the shadow. If we can clear it, then we can get the bigger rally right now. If we get another push down, then this scenario becomes very, very possible. Leading diagonal scenario. So I wanted to cover that with you. And let me just repeat, I say it in every video. Any rally back up is a gift to the bears. These are nothing more than counter trends. And any rally back up is an opportunity for the bulls to exit their long positions, but I doubt most of them will do it. Most of them, like the last time around when we topped, they made fun of me back when I called the 2021 top as well. Most of them rode it all the way down. That's what the herd does. That's what the Moon Boys do. They love to buy tops. It's their hobby. And they love to hold it all the way down. It's what they do. Many of them get wiped out if they're using any kind of leverage. But right now, I'm posting charts, weekly charts, monthly charts, doing very bearish things. I got people laughing at me, mocking me, calling me every name in the book, just like they did at the last top, but I was right. Tom Lee said we're going to 200 to 250,000. He's on TV. Tom Lee said the same thing at the last top in 2021 at 69,000. He said it, Bitcoin had already topped and it was crashing 52%. Ended up crashing 52% to kick off the bear market. But again, people want to buy into the hopium. Oh, this whale said this billionaire said that, or whatever. And again, these are the same people that said the same thing at the last top, going to over 100,000. Tom Lee had said we were going by the end of 2021, we were going to be at 168,000. We only made it to 69,000. He was 99,000 off. Right after we peaked, then he said, oh no, we're going to 200,000. And Bitcoin crashed. He said by the end of the year, we'll be at 200,000. And by the end of the year, we're at 15,000. So again, okay, telling me, well, so-and-so expert says this, and my favorite Moon Boy says that. And again, these are the people that were blindsided by the last top. In order for Bitcoin to turn back to bullish, my signals, which are correct, have to turn back to bullish in the weekly time frame. You have to clear resistance. the odds greatly favor that Bitcoin has topped. Now, a lot of these people that are saying Bitcoin 200,000, Bitcoin 250,000, now they're pushing their targets forward now, not in 2025. They're saying it in 2025. Now they're going, oh, 2026. Again, Bitcoin has likely already begun a bear market. Bitcoin has likely topped, as I continue to say. I see evidence of it. I really don't care which way Bitcoin goes. I'm a trader. I was extremely bullish at the April low, calling the very day of the bottom. And I saw evidence of a top at the October 6th peak. And I told you that, warned you going into the October peak that Bitcoin might top. And I saw evidence. I got topping signals at major resistance. And I got evidence of a Bitcoin top. Now I'm watching to see if it will be confirmed in the weekly time frame. I wanted to show you this alternative count. And if we do end up dropping to a new low for a leading diagonal, then you will have a bullish divergence here in the 4-hour time frame. I don't know that it plays out that way. I'm just telling you that is my alternative count. We still may recover and try a larger retracement of this decline right here. But should we drop to new lows, then the odds of a leading diagonal possible, or you are starting the crash wave, third of the third, intermediate wave 3 of crash wave, primary wave 3, one or the other. Be watching, did we just get a feeble bounce? We're starting the crash wave of intermediate wave 3 of primary wave 3, or do we push down the leading diagonal, or is this thing not yet done and we get a larger Fibonacci retracement? So looking for clues. Again, for me, the rallies have been shorting opportunities, and again, we're in a downtrend. You have a series of lower highs and lower lows. I'm looking for another lower low. Maybe that's it. Maybe we go a little higher right now. If we go to a lower low, then maybe you get that leading diagonal scenario. So I wanted to share that with you.